So here we have the symmetric speed fins. They look very different. This is a smaller size one, this is a larger size, this is 21 and this is a 33. Now they have a very similar characteristic in terms of the profile, and we have a few special things we've done to aid in improving the resistance to spin out. The chord of this is quite long, because when you are running such a short fin, you do actually need a certain amount of surface area to be able to generate enough lift at the low to mid speeds and do that efficiently. So on a speed run, you need to be able to get up to speed before you hit the best part of the run, and the faster you're going before you get into that best part of the run, the faster your run's going to be. Even if there is a little bit more drag at the highest speed, that is not going to be the thing that determines your highest speed. It's actually the speed you're going into the runs. So even if it's only 25 or 30 knots, if you can be doing 3 knots more going into the run, you'll be doing at least 2 knots more at the end. So that's why we have a bit more surface area in the smaller sizes, so that you're not just having to back off on the fin as you go into the run and you're in the acceleration phase. So that's why, yeah, that's basically why they look really big, but they're still extremely efficient and they're very, very effective. The larger size, for the same reason, you don't need to carry all of that surface area to generate the lift. Once you're at speed, you only need a certain amount of surface area. So the longer fin is designed for wider boards. So if you are using a slalom board as a speed board, which in some situations, in most situations, it's beneficial, because if the conditions are such that there's big lulls and you need to be able to float back in, if the gusts are only very occasional, there's a huge advantage in using a big floaty slalom board to be able to do speed runs. So this fin here enables you to do very, very fast runs on big slalom boards, because it has the length which gives you the balance on the wider tails. So these shorter fins, narrower tails, longer fins, wider tails. So at about 27 centimetres, we determined that that's about the size where you wouldn't be using it in a speed board, you'd be using it in a slalom board. So we transitioned to a shorter chord in that fin size. So that gives us good coverage of most speed sailing applications. There's a couple of unique things on these fins with the profile. You see that the base is very, very thick, and then it suddenly transitions to a more slim profile. Now the reason we do that is we basically want to create a vortex fence, which is basically caused by the sudden change in pressure right at that discontinuity. And as the flow, because you have lower pressure where it's thicker, so it actually draws the flow upwards, and as it releases, it spirals off the back and creates a vortex fence just under the surface of the water. Now what that does is, if you get a big air bubble or you ventilate the fin at the root, it can't suck the air down past that vortex fence. So it actually protects the tip section of the fin from ventilating. So it makes the section more robust. So essentially it makes it way more resilient when it comes to spin out. So we can get away with a slightly smaller area and be able to stand on the thing and not worry about it letting go. So we don't have to use as big a fin for the same situation. And basically when you go for more fin and more area, you have more drag at high speed. It's as simple as that. You can adjust the sections to make them lower drag and to have deeper drag buckets and utilise laminar flow more effectively. But ultimately at the highest speed, when the angles are low and essentially your lift coefficients are very low, there's very little difference between fins. So what it comes down to is the amount of surface area. And if you don't need all the surface area, then you go for a smaller one like this, less surface area. So otherwise you're carrying the drag, and it's pretty much proportional to the surface area in that situation. So that's why we recommend with slalom boards, you use the lower surface area fins for speed sailing, and the larger ones work very well because you need the surface area to be able to get the board up to speed and accelerate into the run.